So yeah, we have one of the most, the most infamous scene from this movie, and it is when they they are walking to walking to the train station in Baltimore, leaving as they depart for come on, G, as they depart for Boise, and they come across a dog walking, and Divine, in her divine way, goes over to the dog, and the dog is doing a duty, a nice little duty. Dog's pooping, and so Divine scoops that little feces up and eats it, chews it very seductively, and starts gagging. And the voiceover narration says, not only is Divine the filthiest person in the world, but she is also the filthiest actress in the world. And then we get the end title scene where it says a John Waters film, and there you have it. So they actually, they fed the dog meat for like 3 days prior to this.
Oh no.
And
oh no. So yeah.
There we go. The dog was fed steak for 3 days beforehand. Divine's reaction to eating it was real.
Yeah, I can definitely tell that it was believable. I can see how her reaction was actually genuine.
Come on, junkie butt.
But yeah, that's Pink Flamingos in a nutshell. This is ultimately up to everyone who listens to this if they actually want to watch this movie. However you want to obtain this movie, because like we mentioned, it's not on any streaming platform currently, but somehow it's in the National Film Registry.
And that's what I was just going to mention. So this movie has been considered by the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant. And that is something that we see before the title screen, that this movie was chosen in 2021 as by the Library of Congress as a film of prestige.
I don't see how, but
Jacob.
All right.
So yeah, do we want to do ratings? This is what I'm waiting for you.
Yeah. I have one in my head. You're probably not going to like it, but...
Do you want to go first?
Sure. I'm giving this movie a 0.5.
Oh no, not a 0.5.
It's the same score I gave Ginger Dead Man versus the Evil Ball.
Jacob. For something that is culturally appreciated.
In some minds through more people than one, but I'm going to be standing. I'm going to be standing on my ground and give it a 0.5. But I am curious on what you're
not going to like mine at all.
I bet I'm not, but I'm still curious.
I'm going to give this movie a 8 out of 10. I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10. Not only because I like this movie, yes, there is some uncomfortable stuff in this movie as my cat is trying to get treats out of a bag. There's some uncomfortable stuff in this movie, but I love 7.5. We'll go 7.5.
Do you really feel that? It's ultimately up to you on what you're going to give it.
We'll do 8. We'll do 8.
You're going to do 8?
Yes, we'll do 8. I have an appreciation for this movie, and I shouldn't have to explain it, Jacob.
Well, I gave my distinct.
Look at that.
Yeah.
For our people who are watching on YouTube and actually watching us.
Yeah, that's Divine.
Divine. She was what inspired Ursula from The Little Mermaid. Fun fact, folks. So, if you want to see the roots of that character, go back to Divine. But yes, I would suggest watching it for people who want to see a landmark of not only cinema but Baltimore culture as well. Not saying that this is an emphasis on Baltimore culture, but like just the I think just John Waters as a person and watching all of his essential movies is so important. So yeah, I just have a deep appreciation for this movie. This movie is, I will never forget when I had a little book of movies when I was like 13 years old. And Pink Flamingos was one of the movies that I remember flipping through and seeing is that shot of, Divine shooting in the one of the final scenes. So it just holds a special place in my heart. I don't like the animal abuse scene. I don't like the rape scene. Although I get that it is essential to the plot. Yeah, it's definitely a hard pill to swallow of a movie, but I like it better than Cannibal Holocaust. So
Yeah. I mean, I understand.
Jacob is so done with Pink Flamingos, and
it's not that I'm really done with it, but this movie just shocked me in more sense than one.
And that's its point. It's supposed to be shocking, and even for 1972, like this movie, because you watch older movies, it's like, oh yeah, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. This is like, hey, this is pretty rough for 2024 still. Because, yeah, it's stuff that you generally don't see on film.
No.
Not in films like Saltburn and all the other movies that people think are so bizarre.
Saltburn, I'm actually curious on watching at some point because I've heard a lot of psychological and confusing aspects about that movie, but hey, that'll be more along the lines in the future, maybe.
Exactly. But if you want something that is going to blow your world, check out this and other John Waters films too. So
yeah, I mean, I'm sure John Waters has made some good movies, just like Hairspray and Crybaby, which I'm curious on seeing.
Yeah, so, and John Waters, he has, like we said, so many movies. Serial Mom 2. He did, of course, Hairspray. I don't think he did the remake of Hairspray. Yeah, he produced it. He didn't direct it, but he produced it. But he did do the original one. Polyester is always one that I have wanted to see, because it's his first, like, I guess, movie to really go into more conventional standards and him like trying to make a movie that was actually not so transgressive, even though there are elements of it, with sexuality and having, Divine and Tab Hunter, who was a famous film actor in the 50s, who was, a ladies' man, who's, a sex icon, and he came out of the closet as gay. And I think the late 70s. So there are so many different aspects of John Waters movies that explore that sexuality and through a lot of elements of comedy and horror and discuss. And so, yeah. But yeah, if you're interested, check out other John Waters' movies. You most likely have seen other ones. So yeah, fun stuff. Is that all we want to talk about with tonight's movie?
Well, I was about to say, since mine is 8.5 and yours is an 8, that ultimately leads to an 8.5. So
it's so low.
I'm sorry, but that's just how I feel about it.
It's okay. You don't have to change it.
If I can think about any other redeeming quality about this movie, I would give it a higher rating, but I can't really think of much towards it. But that ultimately puts us in D tier. And currently, it's our lowest movie.
Come on, Jacob.
I understand.
One of my favorites.
I'm sorry,
But yeah, so we have that. Oh yeah, John Waters, I forgot. He was in The Simpsons, too. Oh. He was in an episode of The Simpsons, yeah.
Oh, he was also in one of the Chucky movies.
Yeah.
And Jackass.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, he's very well known. Everybody has probably seen a picture of him, the pencil-thin mustache. And he's just, yeah, he's definitely one of a kind. Definitely up there with David Lynch for me. but not. I've seen more David Lynch movies than I have John Waters movies. But from what I have seen of John Waters, I just really respect him and really want to see so much more of his stuff. So maybe we'll get to something else, John Waters, if I get my way. I don't know if Jacob feels the same way.
No, I can agree with that. Like I said, I'm probably going to be staying away from Pink Flamingos for a little bit, but I am curious to get more into John Waters' work.
All right, so tonight we have Pink Flamingos, probably one of the most controversial and banned movies of all time, but a landmark in cinema history, specifically underground cinema independent history. So,
but we're not done quite yet.
No, we are not.
This week, since it is a double feature, we'll be reviewing another movie we'll be seeing tomorrow, and we'll be posting the review for it Sunday. So
stay tuned for that.
Yeah, stay tuned for that. I don't know if we really want to spoil it right now.
Yeah, because I don't know if we're 100% sure what we're doing yet. But yes, so stay tuned for that. We are doing a double feature this weekend because wonderful Jacob has decided to come visit us and spend the weekend with me. So not only we could do this, but I could show him around the area where one of his favorite films was filmed. When we were watching this movie, I was like, this movie was filmed like 30 minutes from here,
and I did not even know.
So stay tuned. We appreciate you. As you see, this may be the first time that you are seeing our faces. So hello, we are happy to have you here. You can finally put a face to a voice. So you don't just have to listen to us on Spotify. You will be seeing us on YouTube as well. And if you are just listening on Spotify or iHeartRadio or Apple Podcasts, then you get to hear our wonderful voices again. But go check us out on YouTube so you can actually see our faces.
Yeah, you can see our full live reaction. And you can see the just utter disgust that's going throughout my face. But yeah, this won't be the only live reaction too. I'm sure tomorrow's review as well will be a live reaction as well, depending on what we see. But
possibly,
we'll keep you all posted.
It might be something light or might be something
dark.
Yeah,
very dark.
But I'm sure, Jacob, that it will have a higher rating than this for you.
Yeah, probably. Unless it really tries to screw the pooch on that one, but yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you for sticking with us. I know it was a shorter episode tonight.
But you'll be listening to us very soon.
Exactly, yes. So thank you all. I just wanted to shout out, we are over 1,000 followers. Right now we were sitting at about 1,100 something. I forget the exact number. But we are growing as ever. So thank you so much to all who has contributed and has put us out there and building our family, so we really appreciate you.
If you have any other questions, comments, concerns that you want us to know, you can email us at the boxofficebearsmoviepodcast@yahoo.com, or you can message us on Instagram at the boxofficebearsmoviepodcast, and we'll gladly get back to you.
Please do. We are always happy to answer questions. Send us in your questions. If you DM us and we do not see it, we apologize. But if you actually want to really communicate, do so through email or do so through DMing. I think that's another way because you're pretty good at following the Instagram pretty well. So yeah.
All right, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you, everybody.